Hi, Pär.
Hey.
Welcome back to the podcast Everyday Metallurgy.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Yeah, Pär, you were on about a year ago where we talked about European production of rare earth material or mining of rare earth material because you are working in the mine in the northern Sweden, LKAB, where the long tail from the iron ore has shown to be pretty high in rare earth materials.
Yeah.
And I invited you for a review after our initial talk because the world has been spinning around over the last year. And the global condition on magnet supply has been bound by threats of tariff, somebody who don't want to supply to others, and lack of material, and it's a mess.
Yes.
And I would like to learn more about what is the state, looking at it with European eyes now, to today. So could you give first an introduction to what is this the supply chain if we look at it from mine to final magnet? Because I think a lot of people, and I can see when I look at the discussion on LinkedIn, people say, "Oh, we just have to invest some millions, then we have the supply chain up and running. It's just digging it out of the ground, and then next step is a magnet." But I know that it's not like that. But can you elaborate a little on that?
Absolutely, Peter. Nice to be here and nice to be back in your podcast here. Yeah, it has been quite turbulent since we talked last time, and a lot going on, and many things have changed also in the political area in the world. We are still on the track to mine these REEs for supplying Europe and also the Western world, of course. And we're working really hard. And actually, what we got since we talked last time is the investment decision for a demonstration facility in Luleå. So now we're actually stepping up our production systems to start tuning in for the industrial scale. It will take approximately 2.5 years before we have the results. We put the shovel in the ground in November last year, and now we have a water sealed building, and now the installation of all the equipment will soon start, and end of this autumn possibly, and we will start running the tests in December. So things are happening also here up in the north of Sweden. But as you can see, I think also with the political situation, as you mentioned in your introduction here, we see it's very important to have the self-supply in Europe of this type of material, not so you don't have to be dependent of China in the sense we are today with the green transition, with electrical motors and windmills and so on that we need for getting the power down. So we can see that the tension on our project is also raised a lot. And I want to show you a picture a little bit how we're thinking about our supply chain. If you go all the way down from the mine to making the magnet and also the final users. So I will share my screen with you, Peter.
Yes, I see it.
Yeah. So first of all, we are an iron ore company. That's the main product for us, and we have quite large volumes. But we see that from the waste material as we see it today, we have quite much apatite. And apatite is a RE carrying mineral. So from that extraction and mining, we see from the Malmberget mine that we're starting with now, the percentage or the concentration is quite low, but the volumes are really, really large. So that's why we can have a business case on the RE side and also be protected by the iron ore production as we have. So
the that's the working horse.
Yes, that will be, and it's an important one for us.
Yeah, and it's the same. That's also the way it works in China. It's leftovers from iron ores typically.
Yes.
So it's again what they call the long tail products.
Exactly. So we do the extraction and separate out the iron ore, and the waste goes to another treatment. So the physical processing is what we say a flotation process. It's a wet sorting process in mining. It's used for many types of different sorting of minerals actually. And after that, we have an apatite concentrate that we then deliver down to Luleå, where we now are building the demo facility, as I mentioned before. But in the future, we'll have an industrial scale where we then chemically process with hydrometallurgy, different kind of process, quite complex steps that we have here. So the first major project is actually phosphoric acid, and the second product are the REs. But the REs will be a mixture of all the 17 of the REs elements that we have in the periodic system. They need to be separated. All these processing are quite complex and nothing that the European industry are used to actually. And if you go to separation, it's even more complex. And there we have working together with a company called Retec in Norway. So they are really good at doing extraction of this and separation of this rare earth. But then the next step will going from the oxide that they separate out to a metal and alloy to magnet. So that's quite important steps that we need to also take care of, and which is a little bit cumbersome also. But downstream, of course, there we have component manufacturers doing motors and also end users. We have a very, very large, we have Volvo, we have also the German car manufacturers, which are well established. But as from LKAB perspective, we see that this area, the midsection, mining is no problem. Physical separation is well known, but the chemical processing, separation, and oxide to metal and alloying and doing magnets are the tricky one. And I would to really put the eye on the things that are important that we can manage in Europe so well today is actually going from the oxide to the metal. It's the process is not super complex, but we don't have tradition to work with this for doing alloys for magnets, for example. So I think here is a problem. If we from LKAB perspective, we can do everything down to separation together with Retec, but what should we do with that concentration? We need to take care of that, and I think here is the lack in the European value chain for production, and it's a little bit out of our hands from LKAB side. We need to collaborate with people that knows this area actually. So that's how we see it anyway right now. So
Are there candidates for this missing link in Europe? Or what is this perspective today? Is it shipped to China?
No, it's not shipped to China, and the production in Europe is quite low anyhow. But there are some interesting companies. We have, for example, Less Common Metals in UK. They're really good at this, but working in very small scale and more or less a startup. I think with their knowledge, we could expand in Europe in some way. Vacuum Schmelzer in Germany is also quite interesting company. I think they work quite a lot in the US, and also I think Less Common Metal is working in US. And then we have Caremag in France that's actually doing magnets, but of course quite small scale. They're working with Stellantis. So these are some initiatives that I think are quite interesting that we should take care of and work together, and maybe also from a European perspective, scale it up. So we have our own industry in this area.
Yeah.
And also, I think everyone has seen, so who is in this business, is MP Materials in the States. And that they have a very nice contract now with the Department of Defense, and they have also set a price floor that will be for, I think it was 10 years. And this is the stability we need also. I think we need that in Europe to be sure to be able to produce this. Because if you have a price that varies very large, we will have huge problem to have stability in the production also. So this is something to work on, and we need to join in Europe, I think, in this area. So
yeah. I heard that the Chinese government, they have put restriction of export of machines to make this refinement. Is it because the technology is only available in China today? So by doing that, they enforce the monopoly.
They are really in China are extremely good on this and have a lot of years behind them. They have a lot of experience also working for many years. So of course I can understand the restriction. Maybe we'll lose the market a little bit if they send it out. But I think this is not rocket science in that sense. I think the machinery we can actually create ourselves. We have some people in Europe that have knowledge in this area, but we need to train them, and we need to train more people in this. Probably we need to produce our own equipment to be really good at this. And so of course they want to have the upper hand as long as they can. So so the economical system is like, we need to have a good business case, and if we don't have it, we will have problems. So
if we dig deeper into the world situation, there was the tariff debate with Trump enforcing a heavy tariff on China, and China paying back with limiting the export of magnet materials and magnets themselves to the Western sphere. Is that situation settled now? Is there an agreement? Is everything back to normal, or are we still in the danger zone?
It's a very good question, Peter, and I think no one knows the answer on that. It's because it seems to vary every week. Is some new news around this subject actually, and if we have landed it now, I'm not sure, but I think this is also an eye-opener for us in Europe, because China, they have full support from the government. Now US is also stepping in with these MP material contracts that they have. But in Europe, we don't do so much. We don't see anything. There's a lot of talking, but there are no actions. So I think it's time to wake up a little bit. We will lose time if we don't do anything right now. We need to support the initiatives that comes up actually.
And you mentioned that the defense government in US are supporting MP. I also saw that the defense ministry in Australia are supporting the Australian industry with $200 million. So my question is, how are we supporting in EU this industry? I know that they made what they call the Critical Material Act in EU, advising the European industry to recycle, to buy it locally. Because it's critical for us. We don't have it in our own shelves. But is this only a piece of paper, this critical raw material critical act, or are there activities behind it?
Let's see. We applied for one of these flags that we should have a CRMA flagged project, and we got it. And I think it's no money behind it as I can see it from what I know. It's more that you should have a fast track through permits, for example, environmental permit. And that's really good because we're always fighting with that. It can take up to 10 years usually to get a permit for a new mine, maybe more. So that's really good. So that will save us time and money, of course, in that sense. But there are I cannot really see that we have economical support. And we are, of course, we are a large company. We can manage it in some sense. It would be good to maybe have some support in some sense. But the small companies, startup companies, I think it's very difficult for them if they don't get any support. Maybe also with competence, but also investments. And if we don't get that running, I think the future will be tough for us. So I think Europe should do something about the situation, and because the competence, the competition, I would say, is really harsh now with the US also stepping in, and China has been dominant in this market for many years. So we need to do something in Europe to help in this area. And CRMA, I think it's a good thought, but we also need to see what does it really mean? Are there anything more than just help with permits? So.
I was triggered by you said that the American agreement was also a stability on price. So they made a minimum price for 10 years. Do we in Europe have industries or governmental usage of rare earth material that could go into such an agreement on European level?
I guess we have. That would be really good to have a similar approach or thinking, to have a floor price. Because if you go out to the competition with the Chinese are really tough, they're really dominant, and they can just lower the price and then the business case is gone for us. So this type of settlement with this type of contracts, I think could be really crucial for us, because the need for defense material, we have very important companies that work with this, and to have an agreement in that sense will also bring a lot of stability for the other companies that really produces this.
Then another argument I have heard previously was that about the refining process, the process from ore to metal is a heavy polluting process. There is floss acid. There are other dirty things that happens. So we don't want it in Europe. Has there been any development in those processes, making them less polluting? And my perspective is, if it is the process, will it be greener to have it in China than in Europe? But because we'll have the magnets no matter what.
You're absolutely right. The way that and I don't have any proof on that, but what we have seen anyway from reports and so on, that China has heavily polluting locally with these acids and waste that they have. But I think it's also about, if you have the focus to make it very cheap, will have these problems. But we have the environmental legislation in Europe is quite tough. You need to meet them. So what we have done when we started to design our process is that it should be environmentally friendly. It should be circular. So we circle things until it's clean. Of course, we'll also have smaller amounts of waste, but we need to take care of it also. So the design we have is very, very clean, and you can make it clean. It's a little bit costly, of course. The investment will be higher, but in the same round, you will also make it more environmental friendly. And it's absolutely possible to do it. So you don't have to pollute locally the way that it's been done before. I think actually China, what I heard, also starting to think about this and have better processes now. So
yeah. So Per, before we end, if we dig into who are the people who should take action now, I think on the technological level, the people working with it, they know what to do. They know what next step is. So is it the end users, the car producers, as you showed on your sketch, or is it the political level? Who are we going to push? Who should see this podcast episode and be convinced that they are the obstacles to ensure that this will happen in Europe?
Yeah, I think everyone should more or less be involved. The politicians are highly important, and maybe they don't know about the value chain really. Where are the obstacles? And if they can help and support, especially maybe startup companies and so on, to go into this business, and also maybe support already established companies in this area and show that it's important, I think we can do a difference. And of course, the end users are very important. Maybe if we can have this floor pricing of different kind of products that they buy, and we can have the stability. But right now, I think no one is really taking it seriously in Europe. What we can see is it's a lot of talking, but where is the action, I would say. So, but I think everyone, both politicians, but also the industry, should be involved in this. So.
So the message is, if you see this and you have somebody in your network that are on either decision level politically or decision level end user, forward it to them and push it, because we need to agree on that and maybe leave a little the old way of thinking.
Yes, I think that's a good conclusion of this talk.
So, Per, what is the next step for LKAB?
Yeah, now we want to build this demonstration facility and to really show that we can scale up our process. We have seen from the pilot scale testing that we have a really good process. It works very well, but of course there's really small volumes and so on. What is happening when we scale it up? We want to study it very carefully so we can actually dimension and make a good design for the industrial scale. And also, minimize waste, have more efficiency and so on. That's for processing, that's highly important. So we get a good business case. And of course, we want to develop Pär Jonsén, which is the really big new mine that we have up in Kiruna that has been the big news. That's a very interesting task actually to make a good process out of that kind of ore, because the challenge also in this area that all the ores or minerals that you're using have their own way of being treated. So you cannot just copy one process and use it for another mineral. You need
to
optimize it and change it so that will be very interesting.
But to put it in perspective, you said there are lots of materials. If we go full scale, making rare earth of the products that you can dig out of the ground in the Kiruna area, will you be able to supply Sweden, or will you be able to supply Europe? Will it be for 6 months, or will it be for 10 years? What level are we at?
We also, when we open up a mine, it will be for very, very many years. It's like 40, 50 years at least what we're talking about. And the Kiruna mine I think is 100 years old. So we're talking a really long term here. And we will not be able to supply all the needs in Europe. So I think we need to look into other areas in Europe, more companies, more mining companies may be coming into this, and also building the value chain. So we see where we have the gaps. So we're partnering up when we see that, okay, now we can see that we have, from the demo scale, we know that we will have a very robust, a very good process for the ores that we have in our system. We need to partner up so we have the internal European value chain build it. So that's our lot of tasks to still to be done, but a very interesting journey that we are ahead of.
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to catch up with you next year again.
Yeah.
To learn more about what has happened, and hopefully some companies has taken up the missing link, or the political level in Europe has understood that this is not just a voting thing or a piece of paper thing. It is an action thing that really takes time and an effort and investment on long term.
Yeah, it will be nice to present some new news, and hopefully we are almost finishing with a demonstration facility when we talk again. So
wonderful. Thank you very much for sharing the latest news.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. Take care.
Yeah. See you.
See you. Bye.